All right, Busola Akinyemi is a football intermediary, joins the show live from London. Busola, glad to have you on the program today. Bad weekend for the London clubs in the Premier League. Crystal Palace, Tottenham Hotspur, Fulham, Chelsea all lost their matches. Only Arsenal managed to win at Wolves.
Yeah, good afternoon, Promise. A pleasure to be on the program. It was really a bad weekend for the London sides, apart from Arsenal. They lost their game. 23 games now in the Premier League, 15 more games to go. And Liverpool is still coasting to the league with 53 points. Arsenal closely followed by Arsenal, 47 points. But like you said, there were a lot of talking points over the weekend in the Premier League. One of which was the red card given to Arsenal's player Miles Lewis start beating Tottenham 2-1 at White Hart Lane.
All right, we'll come to that. Liverpool recorded a routine win over Ipswich Town, cementing their place at the summit of the table. And like you mentioned, Bournemouth's demolition of Nottingham is a big deal. Now, how did Nottingham really stoop so low? This is a team who's been on the chase in the top three since the season started.
When you look at the performance of Bournemouth, they won Arsenal. They beat Chelsea. They drew with City. They've been having recent very, very good results, especially against the top teams. So I wasn't surprised with them winning at the Vitality Stadium. But what was shocking was the way they scored. They've got players. They've got the likes of Justin Kluivert, who actually is really in a very, very good form. And if you recall, we were talking about his performance just last week when they beat Newcastle. We saw how he scored an hat-trick, and he was also the person that opened scoring over the weekend. So I think Bournemouth, although they might not be fighting for a top four finish, but I think they'll be a force to reckon with when it comes to the remaining 15 games in the Premier League, because they've got a very good coach, they've got young players, they've got a very, very good left back in Zekis, and they've got young players that are doing very well, Kluivert, and they play as a team. And they've been depleted with few injuries, but they still been able to win a lot of games on the horizon. So I think they should be a team to watch out for. They might not be able to make the top four.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas; it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked, and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move weigh in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty, erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
To the lowest points. And for a team that's invested so much in currently injured, the likes of Udogia is injured. All their first choice goalkeeper is injured. Their two centre backs are injured as well. But they've been able to get some results where they've patched. And I think a team, if you're playing in the Premier League, you should know definitely that it could still keep up with the pace of the Premier League. So I think I would not take the excuse that they've got a depleted side. I think they're not just good enough, and something has to be done before it gets worse, because I don't want to see Tottenham fighting for relegation.
All right, talking about situations getting worse, that could be described with the situation at Old Trafford. The Rashford situation at Manchester United remains our concern. As much as he wants to leave the club, his relationship with manager Ruben Amorim seemed to have worsened. Now, in a stinging criticism of his forward, Ruben Amorim has said he would rather pick his 63-year-old goalkeeping coach, Jorge Vital, than Marcus Rashford, who was excluded from the squad in their narrow win against Fulham. Let's take a listen to Amorim. Okay, it's a live situation. We can find that soundbite. But talking about Ruben Amorim and Marcus Rashford, we understand that several clubs are interested in his signing, but the coach has said that the player is showing no signs of repentance, is showing no signs to be committed to the team.
I think personally, it's a really bad situation for both the team, the coach, the players, and Rashford himself. And I think as a person, as an intermediary myself, I don't like the way Anorim has handled the situation, because you should not go to the media and try to bring your player down. We see the way coaches like Arteta, coaches like Guardiola, they try to defend their players. I think what happens in the dressing room should stay in the dressing room, and it should not be a topic for the media. Judging by that, Rashford has not been professional enough, and we all know that. We all see some of his body language when he's even on the bench. He's like he's not interested to fight for the team. But even at that, I think there should be a compromise. There should be like an amicable compromise. Let's both the club and the player reach a decision, if probably possible, of going on loan or something like that. But now that the coach has come out to say he doesn't think he wants to play him, is belittled him, he's brought him down, I think there'll be few lesser clubs that would be interested in bringing Rashford, because they would not want a player that cannot listen to a coach to be brought into the dressing room to create a bit of friction in the dressing room. So I think the next few days in the transfer window would really determine what would happen to Rashford. But I think with what he has said yesterday at the press conference, I don't see him making a very, very big move. Maybe we could just go for a loan to play for 5 months or something.
Okay. All right, Busola, thank you so much for being a part of the show today. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us on Sport Desk. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Always a pleasure.